Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Perché? Perché?
Wonderful.
Gioco
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. As though he had been made exactly for this job.
Lavoro della vita.
And Stanley was happy.
Bentornati ragazzi, come ora, allora siamo su The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. L'ho preso perché mi piaceva come gioco e quindi ho detto lo voglio provare perché è molto carino. E niente, avviamolo. Ovviamente non ci saranno molti tagli, sempre se le cose non si ripetono, e non credo.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Gioco tranquillissimo.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Allora, questo gioco funziona che il narratore ci dirà più o meno noi possiamo fare quello che il narratore ci dice, oppure non fare niente, o anche far così.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
No.
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Olè, finale 1. Perfetto. Sì, già tantissimi modi per come potrebbe finire.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Dobbiamo parlare col capo, sì. No. Praticamente voi, cioè, noi possiamo fare qualunque cosa e in base a cosa è.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Quindi dovrei attraversare quella di sinistra, però potrei fare così.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Mi è andato bene.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Già. Sto ancora qui?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Ma mi piace stare relax. Mi siedo qui, anche se non mi si siede il personaggio.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Narratore? Va bene, vado.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Che bel posto. Ah, cacchio, non posso saltare.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've...
Oh.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
E io vado su quella blu.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Allora, è interessante, molto interessante. Però adesso lo piglio per il culo. Ah!
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Please rate your experience. 3.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable UD Ep.1. Dove sono io? Dove sono? Oddio! Sì, sì, io. 7 ore, 37 minuti. Dovrebbe parlare? Cioè, tutte le altre persone sono entrate dalla porta corretta, io ci ho impiegato 7 ore e mezza.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Ah,
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it,
sì,
would
mi
you?
piace testare giochi.
Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a
Okay.
very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Okay.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes
Okay.
on your experience.
Fastidioso, eh? Ops!
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate
Non so
babies or
così, però,
purely to
per
spite
farla
me?
arrabbiare.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Cos'altro hai per giocare?
Yes, this seems
Io voglio
like it'll
sapere le
work.
persone che hanno
Let's give it a
puntato
shot.
4 ore a giocarci. Dove mi hai portato?
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is
Ma è
about, Stanley?
uguale!
What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man
Dovevo
spying on
lavorare.
innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic
Questo è
purpose.
interessante da poter giocare.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Non puoi saltare, si intendeva non il saltare con il gioco, ma saltare le porte. Madonna, l'ho fatto senza saperlo. Esplosivo. Non ho capito dove devo andare, sta lì. Io sto scendendo, non so. Ma è uguale a Feel Stufati.
No, it can't be.
Cosa? Non vado sul sentiero.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No.
Thank
Stanley,
goodness, Stanley, what a close
narratore.
call.
Sono
You
io
really
Stanley.
wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
Dove sono i
Okay,
cultisti?
I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls.
Ah, mi piace
Something with
Feel
nice,
Stufatum,
big,
lasciamelo.
insurmountable
Feel Stufatum 4.
walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Mannaggia. Perché? Perché?
Wonderful.
Gioco
See,
che
this
odio.
is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now
È
this
chiarissimo
is
che cosa
game
sia questo
design.
gioco.
Stanley,
non me
if you
ne
manage to
ricordo
get
neanche
lost
il
in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Ma non si gioca a piedi.
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
No. Ma è uguale. Mannaggia, sto giocando. Come cazzo si chiamava sto gioco? Non mi ricordo. giocato una volta, ma...
Are you doing it? Are you winning?
Ecco
Is
perché c'è
this
sta
fun?
stanco.
Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Oh!
Hold on. What are you doing?
Ops.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How
Come
will you
no?
write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley,
Ma...
come back. We still have so much...
Torre! Ma dove cazzo lo so finito? Stavamo giocando... Non mi ricordo il nome, ti giuro. Oddio! Narratore, sono finito in un altro buco! Basta. Dove sono? Cos'è questo 509? 427? È praticamente la mia stanza. Che faccio qua? Narratore! Ah, disgrazia. Che sono incastra... Ok.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Narratore. Narratore. Mi ricordo di iscrivervi al canale, se vi siete iscritti iscrivetevi, se vi è piaciuto ditemi se vi sta piacendo perché è molto sorprendente. E niente, da ora è tutto, ci vediamo nel prossimo video ragazzi. Ciao ciao ciao!